Good afternoon. My name is Doreen Weesey, and we're here with AI Productions. And we're at the Ho Chunk Powwow in Linwood, Illinois. This is June 21st, 2008. With me today is a very special person, and his name is Tony Iracho, and he's with the CIAC. And Tony, how did you get involved in this organization?
Well, I got involved because one of the things that we had done in our efforts to try to market our own work, but also works from our community, which is Zuni Pueblo, trying to help finding better pricing for our products and for the artwork from back home. We were also in a couple of books. We were in the Treasures of the Zuni by Theda Bassman and The Allure of Turquoise by New Mexico Magazine. When those publications came out, about 8 months after the books came out, we started seeing our designs in our own work that my wife does. We started seeing those designs being sold at the flea markets in Phoenix and in Albuquerque. So this whole issue of authenticity and education became a more focused part of what I do as part of my business in trying to help the native consumer, to help the consumers understand, know what it is you're buying, but also reinforcing to participants at native shows into being more honest and more truthful about what they're presenting to the general public. Because the general public is coming to events like this with high expectations of buying an Indian-made product. And when they show up and they see my display, that grand illusion of buying an Indian-made product gets kind of compromised, because now they're wondering, well, what about this person? What about that person? Or that one over there? And so when they go and they buy something, they usually come at the end of the day or after they bought it, and they come and ask me, is this real? Is it authentic? And that's why the whole idea about education is really the major focus in trying to help people realize we are facing a serious problem, not only nationally but internationally. We're facing a big problem with these kinds of forgeries. This is to help show the consumer the importance of disclosure. These examples here are samples of a side-by-side comparison. This side is Indian-made, this side is made overseas. Indian-made, made overseas. There's actually a federal law called the 1990 Indian Arts and Crafts Act, which is now the 2000 Indian Arts and Crafts Enforcement Act. What that means is it is basically a federal offense to misrepresent these types of products as Indian-made if they're not made by a Native American who is state or federally recognized by the U.S. government. They also give you a general description too about products. Under the federal guidelines, they basically tell you as long as an Indian made something, it can be sold as Indian made, but it doesn't help determine value for the consumer. So we tell people there's basically 3 ways you make something: handmade, handcrafted, or machine made. So with the examples of machine made, these are castings that you can buy at supply houses already pre-made, and these are just casts. Handcrafted is another process which you will see at a lot of native events, and if you go to the Southwest, you see a lot of roadside stands. A lot of the people there will sell you handcrafted. What that means is if a Native American said, I made that, what they basically did was they bought the pre-made components, either in plastic or real materials, and all they did was assemble it. When you buy a handcrafted item or planning to buy one, I highly recommend you ask what is it made out of before you buy it. This one happens to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces made out of plastic. As long as you know you're buying plastic, that's your choice. That's why to help you realize the importance of value. So that brings us to handmade. Handmade is when it's made from scratch. So the artist would buy the plate, wire, solder, housing, cut it, bend it, shape it, put all the stonework in, handmade. So handmade has a higher value instead of handcrafted. So this is to help show you why that is important. Getting something in writing, telling you what it is that you're purchasing. Let's say somebody downtown or somebody here tells you this is a sample of sterling silver, Indian made, natural materials. check to see if it has some kind of an artist hallmark or signature. Since they're telling you it's an Indian-made product, what Indian nation is that artist from? So, because of the federal guidelines, there are currently over 565 Indian nations recognized by the U.S. government. So, tribal origin in this piece would make it Navajo-made, sterling silver, but that's all plastic. This one here is Navajo-made German silver or nickel silver. This is primarily nickel and zinc. There is no silver in it, but the industry defines it as German silver and nickel silver. Both are Indian-made. Both are plastic stones. So that's, if you don't ask, they're not going to tell you. So this helps to show you the importance of why disclosure is really up to you as a consumer and why you should ask questions. Like these examples. These examples are also made out of nickel. These are samples of plated pewter, which is not even Indian made. They're just cast and plated, and these are primarily imported. And that's why also one of the biggest problems that we're also facing, not only in Indian art, but the American artist is facing the same problem, is U.S. Customs. U.S. Customs, in their indelible wisdom, tell us that anything coming into the United States must have a permanent mark telling you country of origin. Number 3 allows a very convenient exception, which allows products to come into the country with a removable hang tag or a peel-off sticker. Once you remove that, then you're at the mercy of the store or individual as to where they tell you that product comes from. That's the biggest problem we're having to deal with. So that's why with our efforts in working with the state of New Mexico Indian Tourism, we developed a consumer tips brochure, which is also endorsed by the state of New Mexico Tourism because tourism is such a big promotion in our area. But within the brochure, we even have a listing of recommended safe places to buy. We also have other programs they're working with as far as being able to promote safe places where you can buy from natives, but try to help the natives understand, don't be part of the problem. So as a consumer, this is a big issue, and the more we can educate the consumer about what's real and what's not, hopefully it helps them understand it is okay to ask questions because it is your money that you're spending. So that's why here at the powwow, we're trying to help set that change of having rules that will be enforced, and so that way it helps to provide a safer environment for consumers to buy, feeling that they're getting a real Indian-made item, whether it's handcrafted or handmade.
Away.